Welcome to chapter 32. Is it 32? I think we're going with 32 of anecdotal narratives of a light-tinted fellow. Now, I'm definitely running out of other ways to say memoirs of a white guy. I mean, we're up to anecdotal narratives of a light-tinted fellow. Yeah, you're clutching at straws for synonyms. So I've looked up in the thesaurus. Thesaurus? I always say that word wrong. I don't pronounce anything right. You guys should know that by now. I've looked up. There's really not that many other ways to say memoirs or white guy. So, next week probably won't be able to think of one. But, next week's podcast, I'll be joined by fellow comedian and good friend of mine, Josh Wade. We caught up this week. We've already recorded it at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. He was down doing his shows, and I've been opening for his shows at the festival as well, which has been great. So we had to talk about, how he kind of got to be where he is. He was originally from Townsville. Very interesting chat, so look out for that next week. He does a lot of online videos and stuff if you're not familiar, but by next week, you will be familiar with him. So, what else has been happening? Yeah, this week I've pretty much just been doing the comedy festival all week. From Tuesday to Sunday, I had a show every single night, which is it takes quite a toll. I've been very tired. Pretty much all I do is go into the city, do the show, then I ended up always getting home really late. I might try and go see another show. I went and saw Will Anderson during the week. It's hard to go see the shows, though, when you're doing your own, and my one's at 8:30 p.m. every single night. So it's in the spot where all the other shows are. So I haven't really been able to see that many shows at the festival because we were in Canberra and Gold Coast for the first week. But you know what? I'd rather be doing the festival than spectating it. So it's still very cool. This week I've got one more week of shows to go, so I'm halfway there. So if you're from Melbourne and we're planning on coming to see my show, you've got 6 shows left. Tonight, Tuesday to Sunday, and the weekend is filling up very quick. Saturday will sell out, so don't sleep on it, you know what I mean? But book ahead and don't hesitate because shows have been going great, and I think you'll be very... I think people... it's funny because people don't know what to expect because they've just seen my videos and they go, he's funny in the videos, is he funny? And then they go, oh, you're way funnier on stage than you are in the videos. And then they just get really disappointed in my videos. They're like, why aren't you funnier in the videos then, mate? They're like, I saw you be funny up there for an hour. And I'm like, yeah, that took me a year, man. That took me 2 years of work to be that funny for an hour. So the show is great, but then people are just like, your videos are actually a real 7 out of 10 compared to how good you are on stage. But you know what? At least they're enjoying the live show, which is great. So yeah, if you like my videos, you'll love the stage thing. So I'd love to see you there. The national tour is still on sale as well, which I'm doing in June. Sydney, I don't know what happened in Sydney. I'm just way bigger in Sydney than anywhere else. Like, Sydney, I've already half sold it, and I've posted about it like twice. It's already half sold out. So if you're from Sydney, get on it, okay? Buy tickets this week because I don't know what's going to happen. And Perth and Brisbane also selling pretty well, but Adelaide is the new Newcastle. Remember ages ago I was like, I'm selling fuck all from Newcastle, and same with Adelaide. I don't know what's happened with Adelaide, but if you're from Adelaide and want to come, please buy tickets. I feel like maybe they don't have the internet in Adelaide because I just not reaching Adelaide. I don't know. So anyway, if you're from Adelaide, would love to see you there. Don't want to talk about the shows too long. They've been going great. I managed to sell out 2. I've sold out 2 shows already in my first year, which is crazy. And all the other shows have been well over half sold and with great audiences. So thank you everyone who's come so far. It's been awesome meeting you all. Lots of people just yell stuff about fat birds at me after the show. I'm like meeting everyone, and then you hear someone yell out something about someone flapping, or like there was a bird, because we were doing the meet and greet in an outdoor beer garden some nights at the show, and like this outdoor area, and there was a bird that landed, and someone's like, is that fat? And I was like, no, that's a regular sized bird. Please continue lining up and stop. People just prematurely call fat birds, all right? I get it. We all get excited when we see a bird with a bit of flab on it, a bit of chub, a bit of a winter coat. But no, it was a normal sized bird. Stop fat shaming animals for the sake of it. If you're going to fat shame an animal, start a podcast and do it once a week, not just yell it out randomly, okay? It's off-putting to there was other random people just sitting at the bar, like confused as to why there was like this meet and greet happening outside anyway. And then you guys all started yelling out stuff about fat birds and they just picked up their drinks and left. I'm just like, I want to be a part of this bird fat shaming cult, which is essentially what my shows are. No, they're not. But yeah, so this Melbourne shows have been going great. It's been very fun meeting you all. I've had to order more merch, like more t-shirts and more posters, because I didn't think I would sell this many. So thank you to everyone who's bought that. For those interested, the shirts are $20 and the posters are $10. And I'll sign the poster and stuff for you after the show. And you can also pre-order those with your ticket for the interstate people, or if you're coming later in the week from Melbourne. I think that's pretty much it with the shows. Oh, actually, here's what made me mad during the week, as most things do. Like, people complain to me on Snapchat as to why I don't put that much shit from the show on Snapchat. Like, why I don't put my material on Snapchat. Like, I have people going, oh man, you should film yourself more on stage, because as a big fan of you, I think that would be pretty cool to see. How about, as a big fan of me, come to the show and you'll see the whole hour not filmed in portrait from the back of the room on your iPhone. And then one guy has messaged me during the week saying, hey man, I noticed you don't ever have your phone on stage with you. I think it would be really cool for us to see what you see on stage. So if you can just Snapchat from the stage for us, that'd be great. I think that would be quite interesting. How about people have paid money to come see me do stand-up? I'm not going to be like, hey, sorry guys, I know you've paid money to come see me do jokes, but there's this one guy on Snapchat I actually really want to impress. So yeah, this is to please him, and then I just do 5 minutes of Snapchatting on stage. Really? How about if you're that much of a fan of me, come to the show? Like, I hate shit like that. Anyway, triggers me, and also it makes me angry when people message you to tell you that they're not gonna come to the show. So like, hey man, sorry man, I'm from Melbourne, I would love to come, but financially won't be able to make it. That's fine. No, everyone doesn't have to come, obviously. I can't force you to come to my show. But don't tell me you're not gonna come. I don't care. Tell me if you're coming, or tell me like, I'm really excited to come or whatever. Don't go, hey man, I'm not coming. I'm like, cool. Do something else with your day instead of telling me that you're not coming. It's not a roll call, all right? I don't just sorry, is everyone on Snapchat attending or not attending this week? Just come or don't. So anyway, thank you all the positive feedback I've been getting other than those people after the shows. Everyone's been messaging me very nice things, and people have been loving the show, which is great, and it's really cool because it means I haven't put 2 years of doing this 3 nights a week or 4 nights a week to waste. So people are really enjoying it. So I hope to see you guys at the shows Tuesday to Sunday. It finishes this Sunday on the 23rd of April, every night at 8:30 p.m. at the Last Jar on Elizabeth Street in Melbourne, and I'll see you there. I can't wait. What else? So I've been, I don't know, this week just the little things have been getting me. You know what I mean? Like the week's been great. Been one of the best weeks of my life. Been doing shows to packed audiences who have been loving it every single night. It's my dream. But then during the day, I haven't been functioning at an optimum level because I've been tired, I think, and been just thinking about the show all day. And the little things just been really, grinding my gears. Like, okay, for example, last night I went out to see some shows because it was my one day off, had the Monday off. So I went and saw Neil Kolhatkar's show because he's a friend of mine, does videos online. And went with Josh just to go see that. And then I went and saw a couple of other shows as well. But then right before we were about to walk into Neil's right at the start of the night, I got out of the train station. It was about 6:30 p.m. Still about 4 hours of being out and about ahead. The button on my jeans just pops out. Just walking along, pops out. So I've either put on weight, I don't think I have, or it's just bought a shit pair of pants. I think it's definitely the pants. Although I'm saying that to make myself feel better. Nah, it's definitely the pants. So the button popped off, right? And I was like, all right. So then for half an hour, I walked around with my hands in my pockets, holding up my pants. And like some dude shook my hand. I had to keep one hand in my pocket and shake his hand and pop up. And everyone was looking at me like, why is this dude, if someone had have high 10'd me, like, hey man, put both hands up as high five, my pants would have fallen down. So I was like, and I was walking around for ages trying to find a solution for this pants problem. I was looking for a safety pin, and I was going around and asking all the Melbourne Comedy Festival workers if they had a safety pin on them, and then I had to explain to them all that the button of my pants had popped off, and they're like, oh my god, you must be having the worst night. And I was like, yeah, I am. It's like, sorry, I don't have a safety pin. And eventually I went up to the information booth outside the Melbourne Town Hall and asked them for a safety tie, and she's like, oh, I've got a zip tie. That probably won't help you out. And I'm like, nope, I'll take it. And then I'm standing in the middle of the street. Josh is kind of sheltering me so people don't see me doing this. And I'm feeding a zip tie through my, like, where the buttonhole used to be, then through the thing, and then tying it, then threading the rest of the zip tie through my belt buckle like an idiot, just so my pants don't fall down. So that's pretty much sums up my week. Everything's just been going wrong. Like last night I got home from that, and I was pouring myself a juice at my kitchen bench, and juice fell out of my cup. Not spilt. Let's be clear. I didn't spill juice when I was pouring it. It just it just fell out. I don't know what happened. There was no, like, because it was weird. There was no like juice running down the rim of that, so I hadn't spilt it on the way in, but then there was juice on the bench, and I just fell out. I don't know what happened, but I'm like, you know what? That sums up my week. Juice just falling out. I don't know if the cup had a hole in it. Maybe it had a leaky cup. That would make a lot more sense than juice falling out of my cup. Anyway, it just hasn't been my week. Like, just zip tie, juice fell out of my cup. Bunch of other shit's happened. But just the little things. And I'm like, it's just been, like, nothing major to complain about. This is proper white privilege this week. Proper white guy problems that is not really a problem. I mean, I was walking around for an hour with my hands in my pockets, but at least I still had pants on, and I was hydrated, and I had food to eat. You know, it wasn't a major problem, but, you know, I was risking indecent exposure all night unless I kept my hands in my pockets. What else has been going on this week? Oh, I've been following Jacob Sartorius on Snapchat. I followed him like a week before I put out that review on him on my YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it then, I reviewed another one of his songs. It's an absolute banger of a track, Last Text. Go check it out. Piece of art, not really a song. But yeah, I've started following him on Snapchat just because, I don't know, it was hilarious. So you know how you can send like people your contact information on Snapchat? 4 people sent me Jacob Sartorius' contact information, and I ignored the first 3. Then by the 4th one, I was like, nah, I'm throwing this kid a follow. And it's the best thing I've done. It's one of the greatest decisions I've made a week, because watching this kid's life is so much different to what I was doing when I was like 14 or 15. I don't think he goes to school. I'm still trying to work out how he gets an education. Like, I don't know, maybe he doesn't. Maybe that explains some of the content he's putting out. He's just really unintelligent and uneducated. But, like, I think for one snap last week, I think he was doing, like, homeschool. Like, he might have been filling in. It looked like he had work on it. It was probably some contract that was just like, you know, if you put up 4 Musical.lys a day for the rest of your life, you'll be a millionaire. And he's probably like, bang, good on him. But, like, I don't know, like, every day he seems to be like either doing a photo shoot or, you know, like he probably only films the cool stuff of his life, but he always seems to be like in an SUV. And I feel bad for him because he hangs out with like adults all day. He doesn't hang out with his friends or kids his age. Like, he's like, hey, yo, Jason. He has this one guy who's like his tour manager or his agent or his, you know, a personal ass wiper. I don't know what this guy's role is, but he pretty much just carries his bags around airport. Like, he's pretty much Jacob's bitch. Imagine being a full-grown adult. He's probably getting paid sick as well, but being someone's full-time bitch, and the person who's like you're a bitch to a 14-year-old. That imagine being Jacob Sartorius' bitch. Anyway, that's one guy's job, and he pretty much, Jacob just films him, this guy carrying his bags around airport, and he's like, oh, yo, Jason, hit him with the dab. And then this Jason guy's got like 8 bags in his hand, drops them all, dabs, and then picks them all out one by one while Jacob just runs off going, all right, guys, I got 3 new Musical.lys out. Go check them out. Love you all. And this poor dude's in the background just picking up his shit, regretting that he just dabbed for a 14-year-old Snapchat. And I just feel bad for the dude. And like, the point is, like, I don't know what this guy does. Like, I don't know if he goes to school. I think he just does music stuff now. It's his full-time thing, and he's probably dropped out of school. He must be getting some kind of education. But yeah, man, the people around him, he doesn't hang out with kids. He just hangs out with adults, like this Jason dude who just, begrudgingly dabs on request. And I was like, that's a really sad life. Like, the great thing about comedy, one of my favorite things about starting comedy over the last 2 years is all the friends I've made. Like, I would have never got to know Lewis, my good mate Joseph, just all, like, I've made a few of my best friends in the world from, comedy, and we gig together, we work together, we film together, and, like, we write together and stuff, and it's real collaborative. Even though we all do our separate shows and stuff, I tour with Lewis, and it's more a collaborative environment. I couldn't imagine what it's like, especially being 15 and then not hanging out with any people your age. I think it would make me go a bit insane. No wonder he's so, like, I don't know, just a bit odd. Like, he's a bit self-centered, and he doesn't know how to, you can tell he's a bit awkward with interacting with people. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you about that I've been following some trashy 14-year-old kid on Snapchat for a laugh for a week, and I do not regret it at all. It's been very interesting. I don't watch his Snapchat every day, but when I do, and I'm feeling like a bit of a, when you feel like a bit of white trash in your life, it's literally everyone who listens to this podcast, like, oh, I could go with some white trash, and they listen to me complain about juice falling out of my cup, which makes no sense. But people sometimes, it's a guilty pleasure. You just want to hear someone else's shitty problems, so you make yourself feel better. And I watch this kid Snapchat, and I'm like, he's hanging out with 40-year-old men who, pretty much he's just paying, like, way too much. He's probably getting ripped off. I bet you he makes, like, 30% of the money from his shows. I bet you, like, he doesn't even make 50%. I bet you there's a manager taking, like, 60%, and then everyone else gets a split of the last 10%, and he's taking about 30%. I mean, poor kid. He's probably still making heaps, but just feel bad for him. Anyway, what I want to talk about next. I think really that's it. I just think I didn't have a lot to talk about this week, only because, again, I've been every day just either resting before the show, or, you got to get, like, the pre-orders ready, get the merch. I have to order more stuff, so I've been on the phone with the merch people all week, and just, it's a whole big old thing. So yeah, the videos have been come to a standstill. I've got a few on the way. We're filming with you might have seen me. Actually, I think I got my face on Lad Bible this week again, but it was one of Lewis's videos, the Every Group Chat Ever, with Frenchie, Lewis, Elliot Loney, and Josh Wade. So we're filming some more videos with those guys tomorrow. I should have a sketch up with them soon. That's about it. Just more sketches coming and finishing off the shows this week. Then I have a month off before, or not really. I go to Sydney for a week, pretty much as soon as I leave Melbourne. This Sunday, I think. I go to Sydney next week. I forgot about that. I'm off to Sydney to finish off Lewis's Try and Stop Me tour, and then I come back, and I've got about 3-4 weeks off before my national tour starts. And then during those 3 or 4 weeks, I'll absolutely smash videos, like one a week, probably maybe even 2 a week, maybe one little sketch and hopefully one YouTube thing a week. Although I always say that shit and I never get it done. You know what? We'll see what happens. So cool. So last week I asked you all to send in stories of the most trouble you've ever gotten into. And I was like, tell me the consequences, what happened. And I was like, I'm going to get some real juicy stories here. And I didn't really. You guys don't get in trouble much. Like, I got a few alright stories. Here's one of the best ones I got. This one is from Yang. That was just his name. So, no last name. You're just like Seal and Madonna, but it's Yang. So he said, I don't know, he was saying like, I'd love to go to your show or something. Anyway, also for the podcast, the worst thing I got busted for is a while ago I went to Bunnings with a few mates because there was a sausage sizzle there. Obviously, that's the only reason why anyone in Australia goes to Bunnings. If you're from overseas, Bunnings is a hardware store. So they just sell like tools and shit. And every Saturday or every weekend, I think, they have a sausage sizzle out the front. Trust me, it's the only reason why people go to Bunnings. Or also to get 10% off a lower stock or whatever the thing is. Anyway, I got dared to take a piss in the display toilets. After obviously taking up the challenge, we decided that we'd leave before being caught. Yeah, so you took a piss in a toilet that has no plumbing attached to it and is just on display. So you took a stagnant piss that just sits there and lets off smell, that just lets off an awful scent of your piss for the rest of the day. That is so rude, but a pretty good dare. I would never have the balls to do that. Like Jackass did the thing where they took a shit in the display toilet. That's almost Jackass ballsy, so well done. That's so disrespectful. I would hate working there and be like, oh, someone took a piss in the display toilet again. And you have to just like tip the toilet outside and oh, that'd be gross, man. Anyway, we thought we'd leave before being caught. That's a good call. But on the way to the exit, these 4 massive blokes blocked our way, and it turns out some old bitch told the security on us. Yeah, because she probably saw your dick taking a piss in the display toilet. Why are you surprised that you got caught? It's like there's security cameras everywhere, and you also did it in a really busy hardware store. Me and the 3 friends I went with are now banned from the Frankston Bunnings. Of course this happened in Frankston, you piece of shit. I feel like that would happen every day. I bet you they have a sign that says no taking a piss now in the display toilet. But you know what? You don't owe me, mate. Heading to Frankston next week heading to Franga to drop a sweet piss. Yeah, so was that the only consequence you got? I'm assuming you got banned. You pretty much, what you did was illegal. Excreting waste in public is illegal, and indecent exposure, getting your dick out. So if you just got banned, well done. You could have actually got charged for that, although you're probably like 14, so no one was probably offended by your little white boy dick, your white boy Franga dick. So that's a pretty good story. I've probably never got busted doing anything that hard. I don't think I thought about it, by the way. I feel like I didn't not think about it all week. The worst thing I've ever got busted for. I don't know. One time, this is not the worst thing, but it was just so stupid. We had these firecracker things, like me and a couple of friends, and I don't know if you've ever seen them, you throw them on the ground and they explode. They're like they explode on impact with the ground, so you throw them at people's feet and these firecrackers get let off at their feet. We got given them somehow through some illegal thing at high school. Anyway, we had these firecrackers and we were just walking around the neighborhood just throwing them at doorsteps and stuff. And we threw some at this guy's doorstep, then on the back fence, and then make a massive noise, like a proper firecracker, like sound like a gunshot. And then we threw at a guy's doorstep and we ran away, and then he thought we'd thrown a rock through his window or at his fence. So he thought we were piffing rocks at his house, which is probably way worse, because really we were just making a loud noise and then running away. And then we ran stupidly. He was just down the street from my house, and we all just bailed back to my house. And he just, like, we're idiots. It was the dumbest thing we've ever done. Just like 12-year-olds piss bolting up the road, and then we just turned into a house. And he just walked up the street and was like, oh, they turned into that one. Knocked on our door like 3 minutes later, and mum and dad answered. And they're like, oh, well, what's up? And they're like, oh, well, your boy's throwing rocks at my thingo. And then mum and dad were like, oh, were they? And then we had to, and then because we didn't want to get busted with the firecrackers because they were illegal, we just said we were throwing rocks at this guy's window, which is way worse. If we just had been like, no, we were just throwing a little firecracker, it was making a loud noise, then we went away. I realize now that that's way less trouble we would have got in. But we were like, nah, we threw rocks at his fence and his window, which is vandalism and way worse. It's making a loud noise and it's, intent, like it's trying to damage his property, which we weren't doing, but we lied and said we were doing. That's like assaulting someone and being like, nah, I murdered them. I promise it was just a murder. It's like, it's like, why are you like lying? You're making the situation worse. We're just digging ourselves a hole. And then mum and dad, I think we were going to have a sleepover that night with our mates. And then the sleepover never went ahead because we just got like grounded, I think. And then I don't think I've ever told my parents. I probably should tell them that we were never throwing rocks at that dude's house. I might tell mum next time I see her. Uh, so that's probably, I mean, that's not the worst thing I've ever got in trouble for. Obviously, that was just one of the dumbest things I've ever got in trouble for. Like, what a stupid thing to do. We were like, we're bored, let's go and make a noise at someone's doorstep, which is not even that funny. I would say nick-knocking is a funnier prank. Anyway, that was the thing that I've got in trouble for. The consequences weren't that bad, but we said we did something illegal when we really weren't, which was dumb. Anyway, the next story, someone else sent in an okay one. Honestly, your guys' stories was pretty average. What was this one? The worst thing I've ever been caught for, this is from Matt, was I broke into a school with my mates and stole their donation books and set them on fire on the roof of the school. When the police came, we just ran. We never got caught. That's horrible. Some people donated books to the school and you were like, let's take them on the roof and make a bonfire. That's not even funny, man. Why? I hope you know you're a bad person doing that. That's shit. You're a terrible bloke, mate. And I know this guy loves the podcast as well. He listens to it like twice. So he's going to call me a horrible person. No, he's going to hear me call him a horrible person twice this week. So, you're an idiot, mate. As if you didn't at least you didn't get caught. There was one more, I think. I think those were the two best ones. Like, the rest were like, oh, I got caught talking in class. Like, worse than my story. Like, the teacher once caught and we were supposed to be talking and then she got really mad and we got a detention. Like, why do even people send me that shit? So, those are the two best ones. Frankston Bunnings was definitely the best story. So, thanks to Yang. So if you've got any more stories, we can do one more week of stories of what's the worst thing you've ever got in trouble for me. What's the worst thing you've ever got in trouble for? Also send in the consequences that you got. Oh, wait, I think there was one more. Oh, there was one more. Okay, there's one more. This is pretty good, actually. I like this one. But yeah, can you try and top the Frankston Bunnings? Can you top pissing in a display toilet at Frankston Bunnings? That's the challenge this week. This one's pretty good. This is from, the guy said, keep me anonymous, so you know it's going to be good. It means he's ashamed of what he's done, and he doesn't want anyone to find out. Me and my mates at school, it's always guys, by the way. I didn't get one single story from a girl. It's always guys getting in trouble for doing dumb shit. Girls get in trouble, but they just own what they do, and they're like, yep, I messed up, shouldn't have done that. I talk shit about, I was being a brat. And then girls just don't do. Guys just do dumb shit because they get bored, and it's hilarious. This is another one of those. Me and my mates at school in our final year had a poker club where we played with real money. Sometimes we had tournaments. That's a great thing to do in year 12. We should have done that. One guy dobbed us in because no one that was playing for money, one guy dobbed us in, but no one that was playing for money admitted we were, so there were no consequences, even though every teacher knew we were playing for money. The teachers are still disappointed because there is no current way to catch us out. So that means, you're either finished high school now or you're still in your final school. What, dude, really, you think keeping yourself anonymous was gonna, stop you from being caught? None of your teachers listen to this podcast, man. That's so unlikely that your 40-year-old teacher likes a little cheeky bit of white privilege early on every week. I would like to say every Monday, but it's been like every Monday to Tuesday. That's a pretty good one. I like that. There was no consequences, though, so that does make the story worse. It would be great if you had this illegal poker club and, really, you stuffed up the one rule of poker club, which is talk about poker club. You should never talk about poker club, okay? That's the whole point of having an underground club. Did you even learn anything from Fight Club? Brad Pitt taught you well, and you just... Anyway, you should have... If you had have been caught, it would have been fun. You know what? I bet you the teachers play poker as well with real money, so then they can't really do anything about it. I bet you the teachers wanted in. That's what you should have done. If you had have got caught, you could have been like, just keep the winnings and paid off the teachers. And just bribe them. And then you could have sued them for taking a bribe. And then you could have got the money back. Plus more. They would have lost their jobs. And it would have been like Ocean's 11 where you all walk out in suits just like with cool music playing in the background with bags of cash just in your hand. That would have been way better. That would have been, you should have done that. Another Brad Pitt film. Anyway, that was the last story of the worst someone has ever gotten in trouble. Keep on sending them in during the week. I reckon we can top Frank taking a slash in a display toilet at the Frankston Bunnings. Oh, you know, that's pretty good. You know, if someone took a shit at Broadmeadows Bunnings, send it in. That's probably tops that. But yeah, someone trying to top that story. That'd be great. And also, if you've got a story, but you're like, I'm ignoring, I'll keep you anonymous. Just send it in. Okay, I want to hear it. Everyone else wants to hear it. I think we've got one question. One cheeky question. And then it's the end of the podcast because I have a show to do. And another short one this week, but next week is a pretty long one with Josh. So hang out for that. All right, last question. This one is from Jack, and then I think I'm out of good questions. So can you guys send in more questions or send in more stories of your little dumb, rebellious acts you do? Pretty much just send in more stories dumber than pissing in Frankston Bunnings. All right, and more questions because I think this is the last good one. This one is from Jack. Hey Luke, love the potty, been a fan for a fair while now and found you through Lewis and I can't wait to see your show. Thank you very much, Jack. I can't wait to see you there, mate. So a few weeks ago, I went with my brother to see a concert and while waiting in line, we started talking to this group with one chick and two guys. I can't remember the guy's name, but the chick's name was Tegan and we really hit it off after the concert. We all went to a bar and had a few drinks. I ended up adding her on Facebook and got her number. Cheeky Jack. So skip about 2 weeks ahead. I'd forgotten about her, but she sent me a message and we talked for a bit and she wanted me to go to her place to Netflix and chill. Is that actually a thing people say? Like people say, oh, come over and watch. Like no one says that. Like no one's doing like Presto and chill or stand and chill, are they? It's just like, do people actually say come over and Netflix and chill? I'd be like, come over and we'll watch something, and then it's assumed that we'll Netflix, and then you know if it progresses well, we'll throw some chill in there. But who actually? That's pretty presumptuous because everyone knows what Netflix and chill means. It's presumptuous saying come over and Netflix and chill. That's all. That's pretty much saying come over and pound me up against a wall. But so the next day I went over after work, and when I got there, it only took about 10 minutes to get into her pants. So I didn't even watch a Netflix thing. You got like 10 minutes into an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and then you just went down. That's pretty impressive. 10 minutes. That's so easy, man. You got to put up your walls for at least one episode or something, or that's just pathetic. Really, all you've done is come over and chill. Was there even room for... Really, you couldn't have even had... Honestly, sometimes it takes me like 10 minutes to remember my Netflix password. So, I don't know how you fit in Netflix before the chill. So, I think you've just chilled. And so, I'm fucking her, and she goes off, and she was loving it. But when I came... I was wearing a condom, so I came in her. Thanks for that unnecessary information. As soon as I did, she starts talking about relationships, and my dick is still balls deep in her. That's rough. Wait, she started asking you out when you're still in her. That's disgusting. What the fuck goes through a chick's head to ask a guy about relationships while he's still balls deep in her? Man, girls, man. She's like, oh, he's done a big old cum. Now let's put a big old ring on that. And no, don't do that. That's wait. She sounds like a keno. Needless to say, I got out of there quick, smart. Good, smart move, man. But now she messages me non-stop. And if I don't reply to her for a day, if I don't reply to her for a day, when I then reply, it takes her like 5 seconds to open it and start replying. And she keeps talking about wanting to date me and shit. I just don't want to date her, so what should I do? Cheers, Luke. Good luck on the tour. I'll see you soon. Mate, I think you've done everything right. You've met some girl at a concert. You've pretty much skipped Netflix and gone straight to chill. Then you've come balls deep in her. And then you've got out of there. And she's a keno. And now what I don't get, you've made out like you've done something wrong. I really don't have any advice for you because if you don't want anything serious with her, the only thing you should do from now on is just tell her that. And once you've told her that and she keeps harassing you, just ignore her. What you've done, like really, because it sounds like you were kind of into this girl before you found out she was a keno, so you didn't do anything wrong. You were like, oh, there's this girl I really like, and you got lucky with her. Well done. And turns out, as soon as you finished, she got real keen, and there's nothing you can do. That's her fault. Maybe tell her that she's being too full on, that you want to take it slow, and if she can't respect that, then I don't think you should be talking to her anymore, and you should just get out of there. Quick, smart, just like you did after you came balls deep in her. What a legend. He just skips Netflix, goes straight to chill, and then gets out of there quick, smart. Jack, you've done everything right. I don't even know why you asked this question. I think you just wanted to brag. You've honestly sent in this, because really that's just a baller move. You've sent this in just so I can read it out to about 1,000 people, and then just to brag about how you got lucky, and now this chick still wants you. You've done nothing wrong, so yeah. Oh, maybe I think you're leading her on a bit. That's the only thing. If you're completely not interested, which it sounds like you're not, you still replying to her even once a day could be leading her on a bit, because she'd be like, oh, he still replies to me. I'm going to keep harassing him and asking me to date him. So, maybe just ease up, explain to her how you feel. Then if she doesn't reciprocate that, if she still wants something more, then just be like, I'm really sorry. It was nice to meet you. And then just distance yourself. And then, just go to another concert and find the next chick. So, well done, Jack. You've done a ripping effort there. And I have no other advice for you other than tell her that you're done with her, or ask her to ease up. If you just explain, hey, I think you're coming on a bit strong, she might ease up. Turns out you might really like her. But by the sounds of it, so anyone who brings up relationships when you're still inside them, if you're not in one, even in general, is a bit of a keno. And that's oh my God, that would scare me. Jesus Christ. I'll get the hell out of there. And you did, so that's good. You did everything right, mate. Well done. So yeah, send in your questions. I think I'm out of questions now. Send in the stories of the worst you've ever gotten in trouble. And guys, that is pretty much the end of the podcast. Hope you enjoyed this week. So this week, every night, 8:30 in Melbourne. I'd love to see you there. The weekend is filling up quick. I've legitimately sold my phone's been going off. I've sold heaps of tickets for the Saturday just during this recording the podcast. So that's definitely going to sell out. So if you're planning on coming on the weekend, definitely book ahead. There's limited seats left. I think there's only about 10, 15 seats left on the Saturday. Friday's filling up quick. I'll see you during the week. I'd love to see you there. It's at 8:30 p.m. On Elizabeth Street every night, Tuesday to Sunday. And then we off to Sydney, and then I'm off to then come home for a bit, off to do the national tour. Adelaide, please buy tickets, okay? Sydney's half sold, but Adelaide, come on, get on that shit, all right? And that's the end of the podcast. Send in your questions, rate the podcast on iTunes. Oh, I've been saying I'll read reviews. I'm gonna read some. Here we go. I put out a new podcast with So Josh is coming on this podcast next week, but I was on Josh's new podcast, Conspiracy. Go check that out. The first, our episode dropped this week, so go check that out. It's called Conspiracy if you want more of me talking. We talk about the climate change, which is pretty funny. I just end up blaming the whole thing on Sunny Boys. We talk about David Koch from Sunrise, and we also talk about the Jackson O'Doherty thing for a fair bit as well. All right, there's one funny review, and I hate it already. Luke had to Photoshop out Lewis's Spears knob that he was sitting on in the podcast display picture. Hilarious. Legendary podcast, 5 stars from Harry. And that's... I'm just going to start reading reviews, because that's why I don't read them. So, leave a review on iTunes. Better than that, that'd be great. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This podcast still gets in the charts every single week. And I don't know how. It's because some people keep leaving trash reviews. The better 5 stars. So, because I don't think iTunes' bot can work out that comment was complete filth. So I thought I would leave you this week on a few of my favourite moments of like crowd work from my shows during the week. So yeah, this is, I don't know, I'm going to edit some moments in because I record all my shows. It probably sounds bad. I put my phone just like on the floor or whatever just to record the show, so listen back to it for me. And, you know, occasionally some random funny things happen. So I'm going to edit together a few of my favourite moments from the first week of the shows, and yeah, I hope to see you at the second week. So have a good week, guys. Here are some of my favourite moments from during the week at the Melbourne shows.
Thank you very much for coming out, everyone. It's too kind. Coming to celebrate the crucifixion of my boy Jesus at my show. It's great. Don't be like, ooh, okay. You can't get cut over something that never happened. So, this is great. But this is you know, I still work at a golf club, right? And I think I just got my Fitbit steps. Woohoo! It's never happened on stage before. What a douchebag. What's your name, mate?
Andy.
Andy, nice to meet you, Andy. What do you do with yourself?
Not much.
How do you guys know he was just like, fuck all. What do you do with yourself today?
Me? I'm a banker.
Banker? With a B? What else would it be spelled? With a W, I'm kidding. Thank you for coming. I don't know why you said with a B. Like I was going to be like, fuck, was it with this? So I'm trying to become more manly lately. Any manly guys in? They don't come out to comedy shows. They just... What do manly guys do? I don't even know. Last night we had a dude who just like nominated his mate, and his mate was a fucking bitch. So you guys at the back, you guys are pretty. You guys Ben's mates, you guys are pretty manly. But that's not. No, you see, you're wearing a turtleneck. I was talking to your friends. But thank you for coming. This is great. Where are my primary school teachers at? The rest of the audience are really confused. My dad was like, let's have a staff night at Luke's show. Sold out. Everyone thinks it's because people like me. No. I just have really good and supportive parents. It's called like, yeah, Apollo Parkway's primary school is the primary school. Some of my ex-teachers are watching tonight. You're going to be so disappointed. But yeah, it's like Apollo Parkway's the primary school I went to, and like, it's always been my dream to perform live at the Apollo. Tonight I'm just performing in front of the Apollo. My dad told me to say that, so that was literally a dad joke. So, who else? Hey, wait, so is the rest half like people who know me from my videos, or? Yeah, okay. Look, and you came from Lewis, cool. He's at the back, and you say hi later. See?